Okay, we're live. We're going to just jump in and chat a little bit. Very impromptu. Glad you're here. If you're here, and if you're not, guess what? We live anyway. All righty then. So I thought I would go live and chat a little bit about the journey for those of you who are not familiar with some of our story. I did want to give you kind of a backstory and then bring you guys up to where we are currently. And so I'm just going to jump in. So for all of you that are joining me, let me know where you're joining me from. Hey, y'all. Glad to see everybody. And I thought I would just kind of bring you guys up to where I am. Most of you, I know I have a lot of new followers. I'm not sure. I know my YouTube oldies but goodies are always with me. But I have a lot of new Facebook folks. Hey, ma'am, how are you? Good to see you. A lot of Facebook folks, but I do also have a lot of new YouTube subscribers. Actually, I got on this morning and I was kind of vacillating between like 412 and 41619, but this morning I had 50,451 subscribers. So I gained like a large amount of subscribers overnight. Hey, Miss Carla, which is a prayer that I have been having because I'm like, God, why am I stuck at this place? Because I should not be stuck here. It doesn't make any sense. I don't upload as many videos as I used to, but I upload a lot of shorts. And I should, hey, y'all, good to see everybody. And I should be having more people than this, at least according to my estimation, but who am I? But I was pleasantly surprised. So I wanted to share kind of a couple things with y'all this morning, just to kind of encourage some people and help you all understand where the kids and I are at this current point in our life. I don't have a lot of time today because I got to take a lot of somewhere, but I will jump in. So background information for those of you who may be new or fairly new, or maybe you just don't know much about us. You just kind of jumped in where you jumped in. My name is Shakema. I'm a single mom. I have 4 children. So a lot of people ask me, what does your name mean? So 1 mom, 2 girls, 2 boys. So I had 2 daughters, Alana and Shamika. I have 2 sons, Trandon and Jackson. Shamika is 34. She will be 34 next month on her birthday. Trandon will be 28 on his birthday in April. Alana just turned 20, and Jackson will be 15 on his birthday in April. So those are my kids. And we've been doing this single parenting thing since 2010. I was married in 1995 to one spouse. I've had one spouse. Hey, everybody. Good to see y'all. I've had one spouse. I got married in 1995. And I already had a 2-year-old daughter at the time. And we, if you've heard the story, I had been abused as a child, gotten pregnant from that. From what happened, I got pregnant when I was 13 years old. I had my daughter when I was 14 years old. And I became a mom at 14. So I met my ex-husband when I was 15 years old. We did not go on our first date until I was 16 years old. And we were together from the time I was 16 years old until I was 33 years old. So I've been with one person, just that one individual, as far as having a man in my life. Plenty of other traumatic stuff before that, but one man in my life. And when Jackson was born in 2009, Jackson was born in April. In July of that year, that particular individual that I was married to decided to leave our family. Now, I was a professional. I had graduated from college, and I had a career. I was teaching full-time in public school. My children had gone through school. Shamika actually was out of the house. She had left home to go to the military. So my older 2 children left home and went directly into the military. We get a lot of flack sometimes about Alana not going straight into college, and how would somebody like me, an educator, not, push my children into education. My older 2 children went straight into the military. They did not go straight to college. They served their country first, and then they went to, chose college. And so when he chose to leave in 2009, here we were, a two-parent household, having, whatever combined income we had. Of course, I had a degree. He did not. He could have very easily finished. He chose not to finish. And so here we are, we're making money based on the amount of education, degrees, whatever we have. So I'm a professional as an educator. He is not a professional. He's working in the job that he's working in. Now, I'll say this just because I need to make sure that I'm not painting him wrong. He always worked. It was never a matter of not working. He always had a job. But we had, you're so welcome. He always worked, but he didn't make a lot of money. And so our spending was out of proportion to the money that we made, right? So that was a problem. We had kind of gotten upside down with some debt things. And when he decided to leave the marriage, he left me, he left the children, and he left the debt. And so here I am in a two-parent household, and we're struggling. They would cut our accounts. I mean, the bank would lock our accounts because we would overdraft it or whatever the case is, and we're not figuring out what's going on. And it's like this whole mindset of money that you don't have, especially when you're not raised around money. And so you don't know you don't understand how to manage money. That's what I see as a lot of problems with most families today, is not that they don't make it. They just don't know how to manage what comes in. And so God is calling us to be a good steward and manager of what we do have so that he can trust us to give us more. So, again, he left. Jackson was 4 months old. Jackson's the only child that's never lived in the house with his dad, never, except for those 4 months. And even during that 4-month period, he was traveling for work and stuff, because we were trying to debate whether we were going to leave where we live now and go back home where we came from before we moved here. And we moved here for a job for him that he only managed to stay at for a couple of months before he left that job again. Now, he would work, but he would go from job to job to job. I mean, when you talk about W-2s, man, he had some. He had them. I was at one job. I've always been an educator, and that's what I've done. And so, again, not to throw shade, this is just where we were at the time. And so in 2009, I remember sitting down at 2010. No, this was 2009. I was pregnant. Was I pregnant with Jackson? I can't remember. Jackson had been born, and I was sitting at the kitchen table. We lived way out then. We lived way out from where we live now. And I asked the Lord, I said, God, how am I supposed to feed my children? And God gave me one clear solution, and that solution was coupons. So for those of you who don't know, going back into the 25, this is how our family went from $25 a week to almost six figures. Not clickbait, I promise. This is a absolutely gospel true story, not clickbait. I should have put that in the title, not clickbait, because honestly, this is our story. So I'm a teacher by profession. I work from August until May, probably like the first week of June, because kids get out like the last couple of days of May. I work until the first week of June. So that's my pay time. With that, I'm out of work June and July. I don't go back to work till mid-August. So I work mid-August till like the first week of June. 10 months is all I work. I'm a 10-month paid employee. For 2 full months of the year, I don't make any income. So how do I survive? How do I sustain? So we have a program, through our bank. I do State Employees Credit Union in North Carolina. So we have a program in our bank called Summer Share. And what they do is, for every month you get paid, hey, everybody, they pull out a certain amount of money from your paycheck. And that goes into your paycheck every single month. Now, I'll tell you guys how much I have pulled out. For 10 months, I have $393 pulled out of my check. I've had that amount pulled out for years now, since however long we've been doing it, $393, which gives me $3,930 for the 2 months that I don't work. With that money, here's what I have to pay. I have to pay the mortgage. I have to pay the utilities, lights. I have to pay the water bill. I have to pay. Well, back then I had debt, right? When I first started this program, I had debt. So I was paying all of that. I don't have I didn't have childcare in the summertime, so that helped me. But by the time I paid all the bills that needed to come out of that, because like 3,000, it's less than $2,000. My bills run about $3,000 per month. But I don't pay tithe in the summer because I tithe my full salary in 10 months. So I don't tithe in the summer. Anything I'm able to give in the summer is called offering. So it's less than $2,000. So I've got to pay my mortgage, which is close to 1,000. I got to pay the utilities. I got to pay all the other little things. I got to have gas in the car because I still have to go around and do things with my kids and all those types of things. No childcare because I'm home, which is helpful. So we were in that situation back then. I still had debt, and I was asking God, I said, how am I going to, feed my children? It wasn't how am I going to have all this money to save. It was how am I going to feed my kids? And the whole reason that this video came about is because it's tax season, right? We are now in the throes of tax season, and people will get back their huge income tax returns because some of y'all get them. Some of us do not. It has been years. I have to pay taxes every year. I'm thankful that I can pay my taxes. Praise God. Hallelujah. However, there was a time when I would get income tax back as well, but not anymore. And so how did we get ourselves out of this situation? Well, the first thing that I had to do was figure out how to get rid of the debt. Well, I had to figure out how to feed my children. So during those 2 months that I don't work during the summertime, which we're coming up on summertime again, June and July, I didn't have any money for groceries. I mean, it was like tight. I had like $100 was all that I had in, $100 was all I had after I paid all the bills with my summer share money. And I'll divide that into 4 weeks. That's all I can spend is $25 a week to feed my kids. And I said, God, how am I supposed, explain this to me with 2 of us in the house. We're still not making the bills because we would be behind, 30 days. We'd be behind on something else. They'd be, like I said, the bank account would be seized up. You couldn't get anything out. Like, how am I going to do this? And God said to me, coupons. And so here, my kids and I, we embarked on this whole journey of trusting God because I did not know how to do coupons. I had mentioned it before. I had spoken that to my spouse when we were still married. And he said, in his words, that's stupid. It's never going to work. That's a dumb idea. And I had been called stupid before. He never put his hands on me, but he did a lot of mental damage, right? It was just like, that's dumb. It's not going to work. Blah, blah, you're stupid. I'm like, well, I'm going over here with a college degree. What you mean I'm stupid? But whatever, right? We get what we get. And so here I was just having that in my mind. You're not going to be able to do it. You're just not. But God said coupons. I said, okay, God, I don't know how this is going to work. I don't even know nothing about coupons. You're going to have to help me. Y'all, I didn't know that YouTube existed. I don't think we were much Googling back then. There were so many, Jackson will be 15. So 15 years ago, there was just a lot of things I didn't know as a grown adult woman because I had always depended on my spouse to do all of the things, make all of this, because I'm trying to be a Proverbs 31 woman. Just let the man make all the decisions, right? Okay, very good. Well, that's not how that works. If you go back and read Proverbs 31, there's a lot in there that she knows. She has her own business. Okay. Don't want to get ahead of myself. So I would take my little $25 every single week, y'all, and I would be scouring them ads, and I would be looking like, okay. And then people would give me coupons. I have a real good friend. Her name is Kathy. Every week she would go out and buy the paper and bring it to my house. And I would have different ones at work that would just put the little thing on my door. And they would just leave me the Sunday paper with all the coupons, and I would just get all the deals. And of course, back then we were eating processed foods and all the things that I could get with coupons, but my kids ate. And there was another program called Heart of Hope, where Miss Molly, Reverend Molly, and her group of ladies and individuals and intercessors that got together, and they found out about my kids and they would bring us food, and there would be gift cards that left on my doorstep, and they would sponsor us for Christmas and all these things. And I don't think anything is wrong with that. I have had to use the system. We have gotten food stamps before. We got food stamps when you got the paper stamps, honey. Back then when food stamps was paper, different colors for different money, right? Not this EBT card situation, but we got food stamps, we got Medicaid, we got all that in, and I'm not negating any of that, but I wanted to be at a point in a place in my life where I could trust the Lord to help me get beyond where I was. So the very first thing that we did, and I'm going to try to type, I'll just name them. Coupons was the first way. So when I started doing coupons, it helped me to be able to focus, and I was able to save a lot of money. Now, I wasn't able to save it, right? I was just making the groceries. I wasn't going over. There was no going over in the groceries. So that was the first thing, was being able to make sure I could feed my children. And I did not have more than $25 a week. I have a friend, her name is Bree. Bree can tell you, Bree would go with me to the grocery store because sometimes I would be so scared that I wouldn't get my deals right. I would be like, hey, Bree, would you go with me? And she was like, I'll go with you, girl. This was in the summer. And I finally got to a point, I think this was probably 2 summers in, where we got to the grocery, we got to the checkout one time when she went with me. And I was able to pay for my groceries and her groceries with my little monies that I had saved. And she's like, no, you're not going to pay for, I'm paying for these groceries today, girl, because the Lord has showed me how to do this. So my kids are growing steadily. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to make this thing happen. And then something very significant happened. Another thing significant in my life happened. I found YouTube. I found this girl. I was following her. She had a conference in Atlanta. I actually ended up going to Atlanta. And her husband was doing a session at night. He was doing like his one and only, it was a women's conference, but her husband came in and did a session. And he was saying that he prayed and asked God for 7 streams of income. And it had never entered into my mind, right? See, sometimes we're blind. We think we're blind here, but I think we're blind in our mind because we don't open ourselves up to the things that God has for us. Now, I've been a Mary Kay top consultant. I've sold Mary Kay. I have done Mary Kay. I've done the things. I've done all the multi-level marketing stuff. I've done it. Didn't want to do any of that anymore. I wanted God to show me how to increase what I had. This is all I got, God. But you're going to have to show me how to increase so that I can get to this place. So he said 7 streams of income. That number never left my brain. I went back home, and right around the time where we were getting ready to do our taxes, and again, Training was still home then. I had Alana and I had Jackson, and I claimed my children on their taxes. I didn't share no dependents. I'm taking care of these kids 365 days a year. They're being claimed on my taxes. We didn't have any of that in our divorce agreement, that he would take 1 year, I would take 1 year. So I wasn't playing any of that foolishness. I wasn't getting child support at the time either. So it wasn't like it was unequal or whatever. You out there living your best life. I'm over here struggling every day trying to feed them. Okay, we doing what we do. So I was getting money back, right? And I remember very clearly the Lord said to me, chunk that money towards your debt. Now, okay, wait a minute. I'm getting $3,000 and $4,000 and $5,000 back. Well, I didn't never get 5,000, but I'm getting 3,000, 3,400, 2,500, 1,200, way more than I'm getting now back. And you want me to give this money to the debt? Wait, what? And that's when it also came into my mind that as long as I owe somebody else money, I have to pay for their money. Plus, I have to pay them interest because I used it. Now, here's the thing. The thrill is gone. The thrill is totally gone from the money I borrowed, whether I used a credit card or whatever the case might have been. But I'm still paying for Christmas, right? I'm still paying for Christmas. And it's almost Christmas next year. It's almost Christmas again. And I'm still paying for Christmas last year because I funded Christmas on a credit card. And so God said, chunk that money. Well, how did that come about? Because I had just taken I don't even know how God gave me this $100, but my church was getting ready to do a class called Dave Ramsey Financial Peace University. And it cost $100 to take the class. I didn't have $100 from nowhere. I probably didn't have $10. Out of nowhere, I don't know how it came about, but I got that $100. And then you have to make a decision, especially when money is not your thing, or you don't have it and you get it and you know you need to do something, but your mind is saying, no, let's go have some fun. So I was like, okay, I got to take this money and I gotta invest into me and my kids. We got to get out of where we are. That $100 came, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Reverend Molly sent me a few dollars, and I think I got something from somewhere else. I swear to you this day, I still don't know where that money came from. I know I didn't have it, and it came, and I was like, oh, praise the Lord. So I signed up for that class because I needed to know the principles. When you don't have money management skills and you've never been taught them, you need skills. I have the ability to make money, but I didn't have the ability to manage what I had, plus all the stuff that was created in my marriage. Because remember, when he left it with me. And there were just a series of things that would happen, supernatural debt cancellation that I can't even explain. How many of you have ever heard of a credit card company sending you back money for overpayment? Never heard of it. They sent me a check. That's all I'm telling you, is they sent Shakema a check. They said, ma'am, your account is paid in full. It's closed. We don't see it here no more. And you have paid us too much money. We're sending you a check back. I had to call somebody because I thought I was losing my mind. I called the company to make sure they knew what they were doing, because I ain't never heard of that before. So God said, take that tax return, he said, and pay it down towards your debt. And every time I would get money, I would pay it down towards that debt, towards that debt, towards that debt. I'm still shopping with $25 a week, still shopping with that $25. And it's like, you're crazy. And people, especially when I started a YouTube channel, they said, I wouldn't be giving them people my money. Well, I'm giving somebody my interest. I'm giving them their interest. Is for as long as you hold a debt out, you have to pay interest. So either square it up and be interest free, debt free, or keep paying the interest. Minimum payments was not doing anything for me. Finally, I think it took me 2 real good chunks, and we were done paying that debt. 2019, my children and I became debt free. But it still was in the back of my mind, you need those 7 streams of income. And I was like, ooh, okay, God, now how can I do that? So I already had a job, right? I had my career. That's one stream. I'm counting that. It's the largest stream of income that I have. I started the YouTube channel. The Lord said, Shakema, I want you to start this channel and tell them, if I can do it for you, I can do it for them. Do what, God? Help them to feed their kids. Because I have a friend named Yolanda. She said, I kept coming back every week to see how you was going to use that $25. She said, I'm over here paying what I want for the groceries, and you using $25. I'm trying to figure out what God going to do next. And so a friend of mine, Carissa, came over. She's a lady who goes to my church. She came over and she helped me even get started on my YouTube channel. I knew nothing about YouTube, nothing. And she helped me get situated. This was way back before you had to do all these hours and get all these many subscribers to be monetized. And we actually got into the paid program. Now, I didn't make any more than 125, 200. I remember one time I made $236. I was so excited. But all that money, God said, okay, you've paid off your debt. Now this goes towards the student loans, because I had student loans. And I'm thinking, I'll be double D doggone. I can't win for losing around here. I got to pay all the debt. Now I still got the student loans. And so he said, Shakema, whatever you make on this YouTube channel, you tithe and you pay your student loans. And I just began to chunk. And we were done. 2019, my kids and I became debt free. Okay. So I got my income. Now I have the YouTube channel that produces some income. And here's the thing. For those of you trying to get into social media, you can be, I've been viral multiple times. I've been Shade Room viral. Okay. My stuff has been on the Shade Room, whoever they are. Praise God for them. But as quickly as you can go viral, you can be, they don't know who you are the next day. So if you're getting into social media thinking, oh, I'm going to go viral, you got to do trashy stuff. You got to be ratchet. Your house got to be tore up. See, I don't live in that situation. So If that's how I'm planning to get internet famous, it's not going to happen over here. And it's not overnight. You still have to work it every single day. So that was a form of income. Then the YouTube channel became a form of income. Well, then there were certain people that would reach out to me and they would say, okay, Shakema, we want you to share a product on your channel and we're going to pay you money. So sponsorships became a third form of income. Now, I don't get sponsorships from every review that I do, but a lot of times the reviews that I pick are things I need in the house. If you ever see me doing kitchen reviews, I needed something in that kitchen. When I did the review of the 5-piece furniture set, I had been praying about outdoor furniture. Or you'll see me, whatever you see me doing reviews on is something that the kids and I needed. However, for my time, my effort, and my energy, I had saw another person. They were talking about getting sponsorships. Now, I don't actively seek out sponsors. Sponsors come to my channel and they'll say, hey, we saw your video. We like what you're doing. Would you do a video for us? Now, I have to agree with your philosophy of life. I got to agree with your product. If it's something I don't agree to, I don't do it. And now when you say sponsorships, it's not a ton of money. I don't have 1 million subscribers. I had to negotiate my prices, but I now have a rate sheet that I send out for long form content, which are videos, and short form content, which are reels, shorts, smaller 30, 60, 90-second videos, right? So I have short form and long form. I actually hired a person to create that for me. I told them what I wanted it to say because I'm not very graphically designed savvy, but I hired a person. When you can now hire people to do stuff, when you don't have debt anymore, you can now, your money is freed up to do the things you want it to do, not what you need it to do. When I had debt, I needed my money to pay the debt. Now that I don't have debt, I want my money to do this, or this. And so I'm a little bit more free over here because I don't have debt anymore. So now when I get those sponsorship types of questions, I can send out my rate sheet immediately. This is how much I charge for X, Y, and Z. If you want to work with me, I do a minimum 2 to 6 minute video. If I'm getting sponsored, I agree to revisions. If I'm doing a review, I don't revise anything. What I put is what I put, and what I think is what I think. So sometimes a brand will say, oh, we can't really see the logo really well. Do you mind reshooting this part of the video? No problem. If you're paying me, sure, I'll do that. I'll do up to 2 revisions. So I have all of that in my contractual agreements. Now, the other thing is this. You have to become a little business savvy. I never wanted YouTube to become a business because I always saw it as a ministry, and I still see it as a ministry, but it does provide a source of income for my family. So that became a stream of income. So I had my work, my YouTube sponsorships. Well, then there are other platforms that have invited me into a paid program. So here's another platform, not YouTube, but a different platform that is inviting me into a paid program. What do you have to do for that? Well, for me, I just create posts and I upload videos. Same thing I'm doing on YouTube. This platform just says, hey, we see what you're doing. We want to invite you in. I did not go after that. They invited me in. And I think this year I doubled my YouTube income on this platform. That was for 2023. How did I get to the 6 figures? I'm coming to that in a second. So I've got my regular income. YouTube now provides a form. Sponsorships or brand deals provides a form of income, plus a second platform. So that's 4 streams of income. A 5th stream, because remember that gentleman said he prays for 6 streams. So a 5th stream of income are now ambassadorships. There are certain companies that don't want to pay you to do a video for them, but they will allow you to go into their ambassador program. And I did a lot of ambassadorships in the very beginning. I didn't know a lot back then, so I did that. But every time somebody uses your link, you make a certain amount of money from that. So with that fifth stream of income, the ambassadorships, I actually have one, two, let me think. I think there's 4 or 5 ambassadorships that I could potentially make money from every month. So even though that's just a fifth stream of income, there's still 4 to 5 different companies that I have out there, a link that's specific to my name, my code, and you make a certain amount of coins from that. So that was 5. Then I had another big like digital marketing platform reach out and say, hey, we want to invite you in. That's like if you do the TikTok shop or the Amazon storefronts and all these other types of things. So that's another stream of income. So now I'm up to 6 streams of income. So I may not make a ton over here, but I'm still doing some stuff over here, right? Okay. Then I wrote a book. I actually wrote 2 books. And so every time you sell a book, you have income coming in. So at current, that's 7 streams of income. Remember, from my 5th stream, the ambassadorship, I have about 4 to 5 different companies paying me to use, to say, hey, I promote their brand. There's only certain things I promote, not everything. But they're paying me to say that for using my platform to promote their brand. I believe in their brands. I use their stuff quite often. I'm getting ready to set up a 6th ambassadorship so that I can get further income from one company. I've been doing them for now 5 years and I've never set it up. Why haven't you set it up, Shakema? Well, I didn't have all the pieces that I needed at the time. Now I have those pieces. So I'm going to go in and get that set up so that I'm not missing income. So how do I know that I've made close to 6 figures? Well, if you go back and you add up, because it's tax time, right? I just sent my stuff off to the accountant. She took my stuff in. And now I can look and see what I've made, right? So I have all of these different types of incomes that are not just my regular paycheck, which is what I started with, just my one regular paycheck. So all these other streams of income have now included themselves. And my children and I, for the 3rd year in a row, this is what we're 24th, for the 3rd year in a row, have been close to 6 figures, closer to 6 figures than we've ever been. We are so close to 6 figures. I could taste it. I could see it. I could smell it. And I was that mom, single mom, who was $25 a week is what I had. It's what I had. I didn't have any savings, no savings. There wasn't nothing to save. I didn't do sinking funds for the first 10 years that I was budgeting my money. I didn't have money to sink in the funds. Now I have a separate online banking platform that has all of my sinking funds. I think I have about 13 or 14, maybe 15 sinking funds. Those are things that I know are going to come up due that I may not have all the money to pay for at one time. So I pay a little bit every month to that fund. How do you do that, Shakema? Well, some of these forms of income, I pull a little bit off and I plop it over there and a little bit and plop it so that when I come to my trash recycling that's going to come due in July, I'm not trying to find $189 that I don't have. I've put $16 every month into an account so that when July comes around, I've saved up $189.36 to pay for my recycling renewal. That's how it happens. So can it happen for you? Sure. Here's the one thing that I am unsure why half of us are not making more money than we are now. If the pandemic did one thing for us, it provided a creative space and time for us to come up with ideas in our brain. I've said this before on how to make money. If you go on TikTok right now, The body glaze is viral. I'm trying to get the body glaze, but I'm not about to pay $25 for it. I am not. But this one girl came up with a formula. She's put it into a package, nice packaging, put it on a platform. It costs you no money to put it on a platform. All you have to do is follow their guidelines. You agree not to do anything crazy. Don't steal people's stuff, whatever the case is. You put it on their platform, and all of a sudden, people just come and order it. When I sell my books, I put it on Amazon. I don't have to do anything. You go to Amazon, you order it from Amazon, you pay Amazon, and Amazon sends me my share. That's it. They bind it, they package it, they send it to your house. I don't have anything else to do with it. Now, do I have to share profits? Sure. I agreed upon this amount of split, but it's also a headache I don't have to have because sometimes I forget. So now I got to send out who did I forget to send a book to? Who did I forget? No. I will pay a little bit of convenience fee to Amazon so that they can do it. And I don't even pay it up front. It comes out of what the person pays to buy the book. I make my little few, they make their little few, and we got a nice partnership. Okay. So the body glaze, if you do stuff like that, why are you not selling your products? I was watching one little TikTok and the man was talking about the girl body was stank. She was like, "Ooh, what's that smell? Ooh, what's that smell?" And he was trying to promote this soap. He said, "It's not that we're saying that you smell bad. We're just saying that what you use in the wash is not the best stuff to use. So use this." So here is the thing. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah said you can also register your book on several other sites to make more. It starts in one place and then you go to the multiples. I'm thinking about multiple layers. Where else can I put this where it's not costing me any money? Etsy shops are amazing. All you do is post your stuff on Etsy and people can then order. I remember, y'all know I do the conversation envelopes. And people will say, "I want some of these envelopes. Can I get your envelopes?" And I have to tell them, those aren't my envelopes. I just use these products for my savings challenges or my month, my weekly bills or whatever the case, my grocery money, gas. But I can send you to this link. And Sean has all of her different products listed, a picture of all her products. And then you just place your order. She does the orders and she sends them out to your house. So if you have any type of abilities like that, where you can you put together stuff. There was something else I saw. Lots of people are into their body and self-care. And there was a hair growth oil. Right. There's a girl that I use. Her name is Jonte George. She sells the Beautiful You hair growth oil. All I have to do was post a picture of that. And people are like, "Can I get that link? Can I get that link? Can I get that link?" You got to have something out here that people want while you still working your regular job, doing your side hustles and all these types of things. Because I had someone ask me, "So when are you going to quit your job and do social media full time?" I don't make enough money to do social media full time. Y'all, I'm over here working for social media. Okay. It helps my family, but it's not a full-time income. Not the way the algorithms are going right now. Oh no, but I work my full-time job. I'm going to retire in 3 years. I've been at my job 27 years as a public school teacher. I'm perfectly happy to work my job every day. When I get off, I come home and I do my second job because my children are grown now. So when I calculated up all of those streams, 7 streams, when I calculated up all those streams, we're no longer making $25. I mean, I'm no longer using $25 a week to grocery shop unless I just want to. Now I'm close as I've ever been to 6 figures. I'm talking about 100,000. I'm real close. And then still trying to come up with ideas. I've got a few things that are going to be in the works for the holidays, a couple things that are going to be in the works for the holidays coming up. And it's about putting it out one time and allowing people to come back to repeat business, right? They're going to keep coming back for repeat business. Okay, perfect. I have this thing that you need. You have the finances that are going to pay for it. And that's how we make a happy together partnership, right? So that's how my family went from, and then the other thing on top of that, let me not leave the Lord out because I can't. Every dime, every single dime, nickel, quarter, penny that comes into our house, we tithe. We tithe 10% off the top. Everything. I don't care what it is. I don't care where it came from. God gets 10%. As an additional 5%, I give just as an offering. So off jump, 15% of everything that comes into my hands goes back out to somewhere. I'm putting it seed in the ground. That means technically my children and I live off of 85% of our income. On top of that, if it's social media income or if it's business income, one mom income, then I have to take out taxes for that money because I'm a 1099. I am my own employer. I have to pay my own taxes after the fact. So now if I pull out another 15%, which is what I do, I'm technically living off 70% of social media, one mom streaming income, which means it's not my bread and butter is my job. I have a job. Okay. But I still live off of 70%. And even with that being said, because we gave so much out into charitable contributions, it brings down our total taxable income, right? So even though I gave a lot, it still helped drive down my bottom line. So I'm not overly paying in taxes at the end of the year. Did I have to pay taxes? Yes, ma'am. Do I have the money saved? Yes, ma'am. Because I know I'm going to have to pay taxes now. I save every single month. I get income from any of my socials. I put money into my sinking fund for taxes. And whenever my tax lady gets done with my stuff, she sends me my vouchers. I go ahead and make my payments, and whatever it is, it is. Right? So I just wanted to come on here and encourage you all that we were that family. And I hope this didn't come off boastful or braggadocious, because that's really not. That was not the point. Was not to be braggy, but the point was you don't have to stay where you are. You will have to work for it. You do have to work hard. The Bible says faith without works is dead. I didn't ask God, how am I going to feed my children? And when he gave me the idea, I just sat there. He said coupons, and I started working. I was like, okay, let me get all the ones I can. Let me figure out when the dates expire. Let me figure out how to work this system. Let me figure out these sales. I had the big notebook. I was flipping. I knew. I can tell you even now what item is on what lane of the grocery, what aisle of the grocery store, because I walked that grocery store up and down for years. I walked that grocery store trying to figure out where my deals were going to come from to feed my children. So you are going to have to work for it. You can't just sit back and hope that it's all going to come. I told y'all I've been viral several times. Jackson's been viral several times. Sister's got a viral reel out there. And just as soon as we came, they don't know where we are now. So I have noticed that my Facebook trending is down. Like I'm losing followers. That's people in and out. It's perfect, whatever you want to do. But I'm trending up on Instagram. I don't get paid on Instagram, but I'm still trending up. I've been into the millions of accounts reached, people reached. I'm not at millions this week, but I am trending up a little bit now on my analytics on Facebook. My YouTube analytics were up. Now they're down. So it's like this roller coaster of all the things, but you have to know how to work the system. And it's not work the system to figure out how to manipulate it. It's, I got to work today. I got to film a video today. I got to edit today. I'm getting ready to take Alana to a lunch meeting with a friend, and I'm going to sit in my car and edit videos, right? I remember taking my kids to Taekwondo, and I would always have my computer. And I knew the Taekwondo moms thought I was just so antisocial. They didn't understand because they all had husbands. I didn't have a husband. I got to work. I got these kids in this activity. I'm sacrificing for this activity, but I got to sit here and work. And I would edit videos, and I would be working on stuff. That's just how it goes. But we no longer shopping with $25 a week. We're just not doing that. I'm doing 3 money challenges. 3, I can count, y'all. 3 money challenges this year that I didn't do last year. Last year, I did the $20 challenge. I saved $1,378, thinking that was all the money I could save. What did you do with that money, Shakema? That money paid for the plane tickets for my kids and I when we go to California for my daughter's wedding. I named it. Those money has been paid. So that savings is gone. It's already gone. This year, I said I was saving $15,000. Now, that's 15 times what you saved last year, girl. How in the world? I'm going to trust God. I'm going to say no to myself. I'm going to stop spending just because God said you can't be an Amazonian this year. So I'm not doing Amazon, but I'm saving $150 every single week off the top. And then I'm saving anything else I can in my my $100, my 100 envelope challenge, plus my 50 and my 100. Sometimes you have to challenge yourself to go beyond your limits, what you think you can do. And if you can do it, do it. But sometimes you got to lean on the Lord. Okay, God, I need you to help me. I need a good money week somewhere. I need some income coming in. I have different types of accounts that I don't even look at. There was one account, it's one of my ambassadorships. I didn't even look at this account for almost a year. It's supposed to auto draft into my account. Hadn't seen anything, didn't think anything about it. God said, go look at that account. I went and looked at that account. There was so much money in that account that I didn't know was there. And the company didn't realize that it had not been auto debiting me, that they were like, oh my God, we're so sorry. We don't know why the system's not working. Now, it seems to never work for me because there's money sitting in there now. And I had to send an email on Friday. Can I get my coins? Okay, because I have things to do. But here's the thing that I said to the Lord, which I was thankful for. I said, God, I'm so thankful that I'm at a place in my life now, because I wasn't there when Jackson was 4 months old when his dad left, where I don't have to worry about every coin coming in. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying it right, but I'm not stressing out over, oh God, I hope something come in. Oh God, oh God, oh God. No, I just don't spend. If I don't have it, I don't spend it. If I have it, I spend it. If I don't, I don't. Because next week we get social media income will come in next week. And I still have in my regular checking account, just from not having to overspend my account, I'm straight. If I needed gas today, I could get gas. If I need groceries, I could get groceries. If I needed to pay a bill, I could pay a bill. I'm straight. And next week, I'm still going to get social income, which will go straight into the business account, because I don't need to take any money from there to fund me, because I'm not buying anything. I'm not spending. And we're going to be straight. I'm paying all of my taxes. Once that money is out, there'll be some residue left. And what am I going to do? We have a house project. Now, normally I wouldn't do a house project, but this needs to be done. So I'm going to do it. And that's going to pay for that project. And what do? I now start for my 2024 tax season. I now start saving my 15% of monies for my taxes. That's what I do, right? So that's how you have to work it. But when you get to a certain point in your life, you got to be fed up that enough is enough. And I'm not going to take this anymore. I'm not going to have my money telling me what it's going to do. Because a lot of families are in distress because of money. My family is not in distress because of money. The other thing that's very important to me, my older children do not call me. They don't blow up my phone. Mama, can you help me pay my bills? They already know the answer. It's a big, strong, hard no. I didn't help you make it, and I'm not going to help you pay it. So some of y'all are funding your household, your grandchildren, your children, they friends, all that. That's not our testimony. No, I'm not. Well, I can't let my grandkids be out in the cold. I understand what you're saying. I hear you, but you're going to have to do some tough love, some type of place, because I'm not the ATM. I'm not the resident ATM. No, you can't just come swipe over here. And because I've had to tell me no. So I had to tell my children no. Jackson did something. He was kicking his soccer ball and he kicked my neighbor's fence post. And Jackson kicked the ball so hard that it broke my neighbor's fence post, one of the posts, not the whole fence, just the post. And I said to him, oh, I see you. You acting like a spoiled rich kid. I said, and here's what I'm going to do. As soon as I figure out how much that's going to cost, I'm pulling the money out of your account. I'm not paying for their mistakes. Don't go to jail. I'm not bailing you out. The only person who get bail money is me. Shakema, you're so hard. No, I'm not. But I've lived hard, and I've lived needing and wanting, and I don't want my kids to have to. I don't want my kids to have to live this life. So I have to live it for them, in front of them, so that they can see how it is. Sister over here living her best life. She is now caught an idea in her mind about moving out and how she wanted to look. Sister is on it, honey. She's like, "Ooh, I need another job so I can save up my money quicker." She on her sister's on her plan. Y'all might not be seeing sister for a minute because sister might be gone. And everybody thinks she's gonna be here till she's 40. Not sister. She got her life together. She's like, "Mom, I need another job because I need to save my money up." They see you do it, they do it, their children do it, and then you turn the legacy of your family. Instead of them seeing you struggle, they struggling, they children struggling, they children struggling, all y'all living in one house because everybody's struggling. Everybody got their own place. Shamika got her own place. We got our own place. Trina has his own place. Sister about to get her own place. And then Jackson, he about to be in college. So that's how it all works out. But you can go from that $25 a week to just like us. Do I have a new car? Nope. New to me. It was new to me when I got it. And I walked right over there and told Mr. Willett, I need my car. Mr. Willett said, give me $1,000, come back on Tuesday. He didn't take me through all them changes because me and Mr. Willett already know how we rolling. 63 days, $13,000 was paid for. Paid in full. Full. Do you have a car payment? I do not. You could get a nice 2024. This 2013 is doing me just fine, and the miles is good, and we straight. I can drive a Toyota forever. I'm good. I don't need the name brands. Don't you need this Louis bag? Nope, I'm good. I take his friend George. Louis ain't. I mean, it's just, I'm good. I don't need all that. Or people will look at me and they say, "Oh, you got a Louis bag?" Yeah, I got it from the Goodwill. You just got to know which Goodwill to go to. Don't come over here messing with me. I'm not going to be the name brand person. How do you suggest turning? Okay, so if so if that child lives in your home, then you can definitely implement a budget. This is the budget. And we need to stick to said budget so that when you move out, you will have it. What I had my children do was I had them sit down and we wrote out everything that they needed: rent, light, water, car insurance, all the things. And you need to make sure you can cover this in your budget. Anything else is yours to spend. But I need you to start with these accounts because eventually you moving out of this place and we don't need you to have to come back, right? I see people all the time. They move out 3 months later, they right back with their mama. This is not a thing. So let's sit down and structure out what your budget is going to look like when you don't live here anymore, because I'm paying all of the bills. And if you have to, then I would implement rent, but I would put that money in an account for them. You don't need anybody to pay your bills. I get it. But you need for them to have something when they leave. So if you implement rent for your child, then I would put it in a savings account so that when they did move out, either you would pay their rent up for X amount of Z time or however that would shake out. But I have them sit down and I say, listen, if you did not live here, this is what your expenses would look like. There has to be a responsibility put on them. This was the question. Because if there's no responsibility, they will live frivolously because you're taking on all the responsibility. But what you need to do is have that conversation with your child and say, this is where we are. If you didn't live with mom or if you didn't live with dad or whatever the case is, this is what you would have to be responsible for. And sister, because I've had to have that with each of my children. I remember very strategically when it was Shamika, I was like, okay, you don't want to live here? Fine. This is how much it's going to cost you to live. outside of here. And we sat down with those numbers, and eventually she got it together because she didn't want to live under my roof with my rules, because I have rules here. And so that's how it worked out for her. It's a hard sell when you're dealing with adult children, but you just have to you have to have them understand the necessity of responsibility. I always tell my children, if mom wasn't here, then what? Because right now everything is coming through me. But if I wasn't here, then what? And so they like, oh, right. And you don't want them to run up on a problem later where they're trying to figure it out. Then what? Right. Okay. And then, like I said, sister's saving up for a house. We are not moving into an apartment. She can stay here as long as she wants to stay here. But the agreement has always been that 40 to 50% of every paycheck goes into her savings account. 40 to 50%. You can't tell her what to do. Yes, I can, because she's not going to live here forever. So now she's like, well, mom, because she still don't have that concept. Well, mom, what do I do with this money? I said, this money is so when you move out, you get to pick where you want to live. She's like, well, what about an apartment? You don't gain it. There ain't no interest in that. You can't write none of that off. None of that's yours. That's somebody else's, and they can do what they want to. I said, but if we do this right here, I have land. You can put a house out here on land if that's what you want. You can go down just 30 minutes up the road from where we live. It's one of the cheapest places to buy massive amounts of land for really cheap in North Carolina. You can buy 10, 12, 15, 20 acres of land if that's what you want, and put a little mobile something out there. Well, people don't want to live in a mobile home. If you own your 20 acres of land, live wherever you can live, honey. It's your land. So that's where she is now, as far as trying to figure out, okay, when I move out of mom's house, I'm not moving into an apartment. I'm going to buy a home or land to put a home on. So that's where sister is. And she's 20 years old. She'll be 20. We have another little friend, 24 years old. He bought his own house. He bought his own house, his own vehicles. Sister paid cash for her vehicle. If we teach it, they learn it, then they teach it to their children, right? So it goes back to that generational. What am I trying to teach generationally? I'm trying to teach generational wealth to all of my children so that my grandchildren even know this now. I don't have savings accounts for my grandchildren. I don't have grandchildren, but their parents will be set up financially so that they will be able to fund for their children. I'm not paying for your kids. I didn't have them. I didn't lay there and get them. And I'm not going to do it. My grandparents didn't do it for us. I'll do what I can, best as I can. But I'm moving you towards, these are your decisions to make. So anywho, y'all, I got to scooch out of here. Got to take Alana to a thing. Well, Alana's going to drive me to a thing. She's going to get her license very soon. We are hoping by the 1st of April. Y'all pray for you, girl, because she just getting a little more practice. But 1st of April, she going to have her license, and we going to be doing all the things. Then mom will truly be free to go and come as I please, and she'll be free to go and come as she please as well. So anywho, there it is. If y'all have questions, leave me a comment in my comment section, or you can send me an email. I want you all to do, I want you to get it. I want you to do it. I want you to live not above your means by any stretch, but I want you to live in a place where you don't have to hang your head because you can't afford it. There's plenty of things I can afford. I just choose not to get them because it doesn't. I'm gonna eat it up, sleep on it, wear it. It's gonna tear up. What's the problem? No, I'd rather take that financials because I'm trying to save my. Thank you so much. I'm trying to save for my 3 to 6 months in case anything were to happen to me in this house. 3 to 6 months worth of expenses is already saved up for. That's what. And then I want to buy myself a brand new car. I want to buy a brand new car. I do, but I want to pay cash for it. I want to be able to walk in and say, Mr. Willie, I got all the things, Mr. Willie. You know what I'm saying? So anywho, love you guys. Thank y'all for stopping by. Gotta go take sister. I'm gonna see y'all next time. Bye.